Hello, everybody, far and wide, and welcome to this forum that looks back in time. Courtesy of Casa D18 Studios, we hope you enjoy what's being called Throwback Thursday. Over the coming weeks, months, and hopefully years to come, we hope that you will enjoy us opening the vaults and archives to look back at some of the most unique content across all of our platforms, whether it's Casa D18 Studios, the Jeff Meacham Network, NoDQ.com, my Sybil YouTube channel, the Sybil Man's brand, and of course, FTW Productions, hosted by James Hebert at jhebertside95. It basically is just going to offer you a ton of classic content. So with that being said, buckle up, have fun, take a seat, just enjoy life and enjoy wrestling, and enjoy what this Throwback Thursday has in store for you. And again, I hope that you stay tuned for many more that hopefully will come too.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Hello pals, Alyssa Marino here, and as a friend of Parker Kane Promotions, I am super excited to share the awesomeness that they've got in store for you this November at WrestleCade. You'll be seeing the world-traveling Capital Championship Wrestling Global Fighting Champ Rebecca J. Scott, a rising star who's been featured on Ladies Night Out, MCW, and more, the stunner Emily J., an internationally traveled talent who you've seen on NXT UK and Stardom, Angel of the Ring Zaya Brookside, and NWA World Women's Tag Team Champion Chicago's sweetheart Missa Kate will also be appearing live. It's all going down WrestleCade weekend in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. You can catch these stars brought to you by Parker Kane Promotions on Saturday, November 25th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And be sure to stick around for Ladies Night Out the following day on Sunday, November 26th. You can get your WrestleCade weekend tickets at WrestleCade.com.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from NoDQ.com.
Rumors of my demise have been greatly exaggerated because I am back. This is Talk Wrestling number 29 here on NoDQ.com and MySpace and YouTube. First of all, apologies for not having a show in a couple weeks. For those of you that saw my blog, I've been crazy busy, and Aaron's been crazy busy, going to Dodger games and going to see Dark Knight twice, and he's been all over Southern California. He's been running around like a madman, so I apologize for not getting us together. It's just been crazy, so, rest assured, though, my knee is doing much better. I'm still walking with a cane, God help me, but, we're gonna incorporate the real life injury into the storylines of Epic War and High Desert Championship Wrestling. So, for every negative, there is a positive in this business, as I say, and so we'll see what happens. First thing I want to talk about is the release, or the mutual agreement of a release, of Ric Flair from WWE. I thought that was the best case scenario for us personally. And for everybody in the interview world, they could finally book Flair for interviews, they could book Flair for appearances, they could do whatever they want. Unfortunately, he missed the NWA Hall of Fame ceremony, I believe, so he doesn't get to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, which sucks, because, WWE blocked him from doing that, which I thought was bullshit. But I did contact Mr. Flair's agent last week, and I spoke with her for a good long while, as a matter of fact. And she said he was burnt out on interviews. He doesn't really want to do interviews anymore because they wore him out the week of WrestleMania. He's so done with interviews. What he does now, he does like as part of a package. Like if he makes an appearance, he'll do the interview with it. But we can't afford to pay Ric Flair for an appearance because Ric Flair demands top dollar. However, I did talk with the agent about another personality in wrestling, so we'll see what happens there. We may get a big. Ric Flair was that original biggest star we ever had on our show, I promised you guys, and unfortunately I can't deliver that. However, I may be able to deliver somebody almost as big, so stay tuned for that. It's from the one and only Angelo. Who do you think will be the next WWE World Heavyweight and ECW champions? It seems like they're pushing Tommy Dreamer to be the next ECW champion, which may give a little credibility to the ECW title again, but I'm not sure. World Heavyweight Champion, it'll be a heel. I know that, unless they turn CM Punk heel in the next few weeks or next few months. And WWE Champion, hopefully not the Great Khali at SummerSlam, because that would suck. It's really hard to say. It depends who's feuding with the champions at the time that the question is asked. Right now, the number one contenders are not going to be the ECW champions, I don't think. You won't see Great Khali or JBL as the world champion or WWE champion. In ECW, I don't know if they'll let Tommy Dreamer be the champion. I would like to think so, but I doubt they will. This question is from Evan. If the WWE gave you the chance of being a general manager, which brand would you choose to take over and run? I think that's pretty obvious. I'd take over Raw. ECW is, the C brand, the third brand, if you will. And they're beyond help, I believe. ECW is not what everybody envisioned it to be. ECW is not the continuation of the original Extreme Championship Wrestling that everybody thought it was going to be. It is now simply a third brand of WWE. Even if you look at the championship belt now, it no longer resembles the ECW belt of old. It now it says World Wrestling Entertainment on the belt. SmackDown, basically I'd run on Raw. That's the flagship show. It's the number one show on cable, although they've been lying about that. They're not the number one show on all of cable. The number one show among certain demographics, yes, but the number one show on cable has been The Closer. Closer is a very popular show on TNT. I happen to watch it. It's a really good show. I just don't watch it on Monday nights. I tape it and watch it, during the week because I watch Raw. I would take over Raw and, put more emphasis on the tag team titles. Yes, John Cena and Batista are the champions right now. Big deal. They do that every time with the storylines where they have two guys feuding. Austin and Michaels and Cena. They've done it countless times. MVP and Matt Hardy. They've done it countless times, and it's so stupid. Alright, Jackal, how do you feel about the possibility of Daivari working for TNA permanently after the Team International thing, and is there even a possibility? Well, Daivari has signed with TNA. He's now known as Sheikh Abdul Bashir, I believe, in TNA. And he's cutting very Muhammad Hassan-like promos on TNA's Impact show. I like the fact that they brought Daivari in to work for TNA. He's a great wrestler. He's got a great speaking voice. He's a great talent in general. And he can do a lot for the X Division. He can do a lot to boost the X Division up to the next level. The X Division champion right now is Petey Williams, who's kind of, floundering there as little Petey Pump. But you've got, guys like Kaz when he comes back, if he comes back, although he's been fired or he's been released, whatever. You got a lot of guys in the X Division that can be challenged by a guy like Sean Daivari, and it can only be beneficial for both Daivari and for TNA. Growing up, I was a big fan of the tag teams. For the past few years, the WWE Tag Team division has gone to shit. Both SmackDown and Raw champions are teams that are basically single wrestlers thrown together to keep their single gimmick. With the exception of Crime Time, there are no team names. It is just person teaming with person B. Person A teaming with person B, and I find it boring. What can we do as fans to bring back the glory days of the tag teams in WWE? Do you think you'll ever see a tag team division that could compare to the late 80s, early 90s? I'd like to see a tag team division that compares with, the Attitude Era or even the 80s with the, the Hart Foundation, the British Bulldogs, the Killer Bees, all those teams. But I don't think it's realistic at this point. Everybody in this business seems to be out for number one. That's themselves. I saw a lot of promise in the DiBiase Rhodes team, and now they've taken the belts away from them. On SmackDown, you've got the Edgeheads, which is a branded team. They are a successful team, and they're a stable team. Chavo and Bam Neely are a tag team sometimes. Chavo's mainly more of a singles wrestler with a bodyguard than they are a tag team. There's not really a stable... That's been the problem for the last few years. That's like Kenny said, in WWE, that they don't have a stable tag team division. If you want to watch good tag team wrestling, it used to be you could go to TNA. But lately, their tag team division hasn't been very, very boisterous either, shall we say. You've got LAX as the champions right now. You've got Beard Money in line for a title shot. And that's really about it. You don't see too many other tag teams. Team 3D is a tag team, but they're not really after the tag team titles. They're in the main event spotlight. So we'll see. This is from Aaron, not Rift. What do you think about the wellness policies for WWE and TNA? Do you think they should be stricter or looser? Well, over the last few months, we've seen the WWE wellness policy claim a lot of people for suspension. Jimmy Wang Yang, Jeff Hardy, William Regal, a lot of guys in Florida. I think it's working great. I think the people are, they're still doing stupid stuff, but at least they're getting punished for it. You can't really make it any tighter than it is. They're doing their best to keep guys on the straight and narrow, and if they foul up, then they get suspended. It's that simple. And if people foul up 3 times, they get fired. I think it's very strict. But it is loose at the same time, because it's like in police, dealing with the police. 3 strikes and you're out. So they can only do so much to the talent without suffocating them. Yes, guys are going to smoke. Yes, guys are going to do whatever they're going to do on their free time. But they can't be doing that shit anymore. It's as simple as that. That's why you don't see a guy like, Rob Van Dam work for WWE. He doesn't want to be on the road, number one. But number two, he can't, enjoy a little weed. I think it's ridiculous. But they can't get any more, strict than they are. Because they do have a 3 strikes and you're out policy. TNA's, I haven't really seen theirs in effect, so I can't comment on that. The kid wants to know what I think of the whole gold standard thing for Shelton Benjamin. He is United States champion, he is the gold standard. Shelton Benjamin is, in my opinion, and in the opinion of many, including many on the WWE announce team, the best pure athlete that WWE has right now. The guy's a stud. He's tremendous. He can do the acrobatic things that you don't see very often from a guy of Shelton Benjamin's size. And he can, wrestle on the mat. He can do aerials. He can do a lot of things. He's great, and he should have been a singles champion again a long time ago. They put him back with Charlie for a while, and that kind of fizzled out. But now that he's on SmackDown and he is the United States champion, he should get a chance to shine. I understand that he has a U.S. title match coming up at SummerSlam. I don't know how definite that is yet. But hopefully he'll be a successful defense. Because I like to see Shelton hold on the title for a while and be a good heel champion. We'll see. come original to a beautiful disaster. He asked, or she asked, what's it like seeing PWG in person? Are the wrestlers friendly to the fans? PWG was actually the first independent show we went to after the beginning of the original Extreme Mayhem video back in September 2004. We get a lot of interviews done that particular show, actually. The interviews you saw online with Samoa Joe and Chris Hero and Jamie Noble and Chris Sabin and Petey Williams all came at PWG. They were all done at PWG, and PWG was very welcoming to us at the time. They're a little bit more stricter with their video policies now because they have a contract with High Spots to distribute their DVDs. So they're a little bit more strict as far as like the video cameras in. I have talked to the people at PWG, but unfortunately, the guy I talked to is no longer with PWG, so we can't tape interviews there anymore. I will be talking to them again soon. Hopefully it'll balance out. Hopefully things will be okay. I'd like to tape there again, but as far as the wrestlers being friendly to the fans, they're very friendly. Jade will disagree. She felt that Samoa Joe was very standoffish toward her, but I found Joe to be very, very nice, very engaging, very cool guy. All the talent you see at PWG, they're very nice to the fans, with the exception of a couple that I'm not going to name because I don't want to get my ass kicked next time I go to PWG. Zachy McNasty. These names, I tell you. These names are great. Do you know of any good wrestling schools in California? I know of several. Ultimate Pro Wrestling's Ultimate University is a great school. They do charge quite a bit of money. The wrestling school, Alternative Wrestling Show out at City of Industry, the AWS, run by Bart. They're a great school. Jesse Hernandez has the EWF school. They're a great school. A friend of mine actually trained with both of them. There's three right here in Southern California that really are good. You've got the All Pro Wrestling Gym, the boot camp up there in Hayward, California. They're a great school. There's a lot out here in California. Just look it up. Go to All Pro Wrestling's website, Empire Wrestling Federation's website, the Alternative Wrestling Show's website, and UPW's website, the Ultimate Pro Wrestling. And check them out. Like I said, UPW charges a lot of money, I believe. EWF and AWS, you may get a little bit of a deal if you sign up for a certain amount of classes, I think. And All Pro Wrestling, if you're in Southern California, that's a little far north. But if you're in Northern California or Central California, APW may be the place to go for you. Levi, what do you think about Elijah Burke's lack of push when Vince said he was the future of ECW? That's a really good question. Elijah Burke had all the potential in the world to be the next big superstar in WWE, and they kind of squashed him. They kind of just put him on the back burner. You don't see him on ECW TV very much, and when you do, he's getting beat. It kind of sucks. They had a whole thing with him and Shelton Benjamin where they introduced Shelton Benjamin to the ECW mix, and they kind of elevated Shelton, and they kind of left Elijah again on the back burner. I think if they put a little push behind Elijah Burke, he could be a great talent. He could be a great mid-carder for ECW. He could be a decent United States champion for SmackDown. Like I said, the guy's got all the potential in the world. He's just not getting a push, and it sucks because he is a really talented wrestler. And I think if they give him the proper opportunity, he could do wonders. This is from Jay in Junior Wrestling. Do you remember that guy that was in WWE? He was in Tough Enough. He came from Harvard School. He had a big H on his trunks. What happened to that guy? You're thinking of Chris Nowinski, or Chris Harvard, as they called him on Tough Enough, the original Tough Enough. He was a finalist on Tough Enough before losing out to Maven, who is now best known for being on The Surreal Life. Oh, Maven. As far as Chris goes, Nowinski goes, he actually suffered a concussion in, I believe it was 2003, 2004. And he has since become an ambassador for WWE, much like Flair was doing before he was let go this last week. He speaks out at press functions and things like that. He was very outspoken during the whole Benoit controversy about concussions and about head injuries in general. You saw Chris Nowinski's name come up a lot in the last year due to the Benoit situation. So he's still around. He's still working for WWE, just not wrestling because he's still very hurt. And we probably won't ever see him in the ring again. Everyone wants to know about me and my opinion of the Mike Adamle situation. Well, I feel that it's bad karma on my part because I was rooting for Michael Cole to get beat up on the match on Raw a couple weeks ago against DiBiase and Rhodes, and he did. And now we're stuck with Mike Adamle as the general manager of Raw, and we have Todd Grisham doing the play-by-play for ECW. I'm a very, very bad person. I caused this. It's my fault. I've allowed that to happen, and I apologize to everybody. Mike Adamle didn't do too bad a job on Raw this last Monday as the general manager. I felt he lived up to a performance that was expected of him. He wasn't too personality driven. He just kind of did his own thing, and it seemed to work very well. He's very professional about it. He wasn't like a bumbling fool like he was on the ECW broadcast. So he can only get better. He can get worse, but hopefully he'll get better. We'll see what happens in the next few weeks. And with that, I'm going to close episode 29 of Talk Wrestling. Thank you, everybody, for sending in your questions. The inbox is open. I've got 3 more weeks worth of questions that I've already printed out and are going to tape in the next few days. So be on the lookout for those. And starting with episode 33, you'll see more of the questions that you guys are sending in now. So with that, I will say goodbye from Talk Wrestling.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's episode of whatever this is, Renegade of Rants.
Okay, Renegade of Rants, that works. I like that.
I am the Renegade of Wrestling, J.J. Williams.
I am the Stat Boy, Mike Caldwell.
And go ahead, tell them.
This show is Stat Boy approved.
Damn right, folks.
After the night we've had, we damn sure deserve it.
Hell in a Cell, of course, was tonight.
Yes, it was.
Just ended roughly about an hour ago.
Yep.
Stat Boy, precisely how long ago?
Let's see. What it is currently 9 o'clock, so an hour. You're right.
Okay.
An hour and 10 minutes.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Stat Boy approved.
Stat Boy approved. Hashtag Stat Boy approved.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yikes. Hell in a Cell just ended not that long ago, and we're here to give you our thoughts on the action that was Hell in a Cell pay-per-view.
That's right.
Curtain-jerking match tonight was none other than Sheamus versus Christian. Sheamus getting the victory there with the bro kick. I gotta say, it was kind of refreshing to see Christian go for the diving headbutt.
Chris Benoit.
That kind of caught me off guard there, seeing Christian go to the top and doing the diving headbutt there.
And he actually bounced.
Missed.
Yeah, he bounced.
Then he went for a spear, missed. Then he caught the bro kick. You see, Christian, that's what happens when you steal other people's moves. Just saying.
Come up with more original stuff. Stick with the kill switch. It works.
Or a Hadouken DDT.
No, I'm not walking off on this one.
Alright.
I'll give you that one. That's Stat Boy approved.
As far as for a start for the pay-per-view, I think it was a decent start, but it was just a lackluster match to me.
Yeah, I didn't start drinking until the next one.
It lacked a little bit in, not as much really in build-up, because the match has been built up well over the last couple weeks, but I think it just could have delivered a little bit more. Maybe the crowd was dead because they're just that over Christian.
No, they didn't start drinking either.
That could very well be too, you know. Beer does a wrestling fan good.
Damn right. I should know from experience.
And that brings us to match 2 of the night, which was Good Sin Cara versus Evil Sin Cara. And one of the Sin Caras won.
The good one did.
Oh, okay. I had to miss part of this match, you know, because they called my food order, so I had to go pick that up.
How was your food?
It was alright. You know, for bowling alley food, it was damn good for bowling alley
food. It was
food.
an Angus burger, too, and they cooked it very well.
We saw the pay-per-view at one of WWE's official blast areas, Del Rio Lanes in Downey, California. You know, make sure you go there and check it out, because chances are we'll be there for all except the big 4.
Right.
So Sin Cara beat Sin Cara, and nobody cares which Sin Cara beat the other Sin Cara, because Sin Cara won.
That's a lot of Sin Caras.
Yeah, okay.
I think, yeah.
Sin
Thank you. Next.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not used to that on my show. I know you're used to it on yours.
That's right. Next was
the impromptu tag titles.
Right. This was a surprise to us. We had Airborne against Airboom, excuse me.
Versus the All-American Perfection.
Yeah.
Jack Swagger and Dolph Ziggler.
We kind of knew this was coming, because we kind of hinted about it when we were off camera. So let's put it together. Good match.
I had heard rumors that this match was more than likely going to be added, but I don't usually cover rumors and predictions because we want to, make sure we have all the cold hard facts that we can. I was pulling for the All-American Perfection because it's been way too long since Jack Swagger has had some gold around his waist.
He had gold on his waist?
Believe it or not, he was actually World Heavyweight Champion, even though Michael Cole seems to think that no one remembers it.
I didn't. I'm just kidding.
But even though, it's been so long since Swagger's had gold around his waist, and even though it's that freaking copper pressed penny looking like you can get at any amusement park, championship, I think Jack Swagger needed a belt around his waist, and nothing against Air Boom. I'm big fans of Kofi and Evan, but if this storyline keeps going, look for the All-American Perfection to get those straps probably by the next pay-per-view.
Sounds like a good enough
my
plan
personal
to me.
opinion.
I like that.
And then we had a botch.
We did?
I believe, yes. Didn't we go straight to the first Hell in a Cell match then?
Yeah, we did. Mid-card.
Yeah. The World Heavyweight Championship.
Mid-card.
In the mid-card.
Yeah. And it was a true mid-card.
I understand you couldn't put like 2 Hell in a Cell matches back-to-back. That would be a little overkill, but either start the pay-per-view and end the pay-per-view with them like they do at the Chambers.
Yeah.
Or maybe throw like the Divas match in between because everyone's going to be out getting the piss and getting their souvenir soda cups refilled.
Yeah, and their long lines for beer. There was that was boring tonight too.
But so we had Mark Henry successfully defend his title against Randy Orton, and I have to say, Randy Orton, shirt and all, really proud of Mark Henry for stepping it up and doing what some people haven't been able to do, and actually successfully defend the belt against guys like Randy Orton.
Spot of the night for me was Mark Henry actually grabbed the ring steps and hurled it like a fastball. Of course, Randy moved out of the way, but to see that was impressive in its own self.
Yeah.
That was a good spot.
Yeah.
As far as brutality goes, I mean, all I did was pretty much rub up against the cage.
Yeah, it wasn't that brutal.
No.
I mean, it was your typical PG Hell in a Cell match.
Right. I think they may have hinted at a chair or something, or climbing the cage, but that was it. Nothing too serious.
Yeah.
It was good, though.
Next match was, by and far, probably highlight of the night up to this point for me, and that was Cody Rhodes coming out and cutting a promo and resurrecting the classic white strap blocked version of the WWE Intercontinental Championship.
Very good.
I, even as a rookie fan, not really having followed when this belt was around the first time, I marked out when I saw Cody pull that belt out. I was out of my seat, jumping up and down in the lanes, along with about half of the crowd there, really marking out to the fact that WWE went old school bringing that back.
Quick shout out to Josh M. Your belt is on pay-per-view.
That's right, brother. Mole.
There you go. Hashtag Stat Boy approved.
There you go. And then John Laryngitis. Go ahead, do your laryngitis for us.
Triple H decided that you have to defend the Intercontinental title against this man. Now listen, it ain't no cost to me. Out comes John Morrison. I mean, he doesn't need a push. He's John Morrison.
Well, I will argue there. John Morrison has been floundering in mid-card hell for so long that he's considered the Marty Jannetty of the old Miz and Morrison team.
Wow.
So John Morrison definitely needs a push. John Morrison would be a good Intercontinental Champion, but I just don't want to see Cody's run end yet. I love where Cody is going right now, and I just don't think it's time to end that momentum. Just
Congratulations, Cody. You've broken 100 days as champion.
Hey, do you think we should get the honky-tonky meter going for Cody Rhodes now?
Oh, good one! The honky-tonky meter!
I was just thinking that.
Thank you. Now,
what's that random voice again?
I don't know. I guess I'm bringing him on your show. It's wherever I go. Up next was one of the matches that we wanted to see happen in the correct way. The Divas match. Beth Phoenix against Kelly Kelly, and yes, it finally happened! The Kelly Kelly Barbie doll reign is over!
It's about fucking time. I'm so glad that K Squared has finally lost her championship. And it's around the waist of somebody who deserves to be called champion.
That's right.
Beth, so proud of you. Hopefully maybe you'll take a cue from Cody and resurrect the old school women's championship.
There you go. There you go. And maybe watch over your back for Natalya. Maybe she'll turn face and go after and take maybe.
I don't see the Divas of Doom breaking up just yet. They've seriously built them up. I think that Beth is probably going to hold that belt until Karma comes back, because Karma was coming out there and kind of not attacking Kelly, but attacking everybody else.
Right.
And I think Karma's going to come out and be the one to get vengeance for Kelly.
There you go. Now, just before the main event comes up, something happened that I just want to shout out at.
Yeah. I actually tweeted about this.
A guy comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, I like your show. You're Stat Boy, right?" I go, "Yeah." "Oh, you guys rock. You know, I like your show the best. Thanks a lot." I'm going, thank you. I didn't know what to do with this guy. He shook his hand, and so I'm starting to get noticed. Plus, today alone, I've gotten 5 new friend requests. So let me give a quick shout out to my newest friend, Kevin. He's there. He's gonna watch the show tonight. Kevin, thank you for being polite and all that stuff. He wasn't one of those, "Oh my God, you're Stat." If you do that, then I'm gonna run away scared. I want polite, honest fans. Now let's get to the main event, the triple threat match.
Alberto Del Rio, the man of destiny, who we went to Del Rio Lanes to watch the pay-per-view, versus
the Cult of Personality,
versus You Can't See
John Cena sucks. He really sucks. John Cena. Okay, go ahead.
And I have to say, the way that they wrote the story of this match was just sheer genius.
It was something we've never seen.
The whole match was your standard triple threat match.
Yeah.
1 versus 1. One person would get bumped to the outside.
Yeah.
1 versus 1. Occasional 2-on-1 team-ups, but nothing major.
Right.
And then, I don't know who decided to book it this way. Someone got the genius idea to get John Cena out of the cell and lock the cell back up.
Basically,
so John Cena, the champion, was trapped on the outside with no way to get his championship belt.
And the way he did it was, he got knocked out. Ricardo
took out the referee. To Chewy.
Took the referee, grabbed the key, opened the door, threw in a pipe. Cena comes out to take out Ricardo. Alberto comes in, locks the cell back in, so Cena's out.
So now it's Alberto and Punk one-on-one.
They're going. Cena revives, and he's just going to try and open the door, and then he's like, "Oh, great, the darn thing's locked." And then he tries to fit into this little tiny 6-inch space.
Like, John, I don't know if you know this, but you're kind of a jacked up muscle dude.
You got muscle.
Not gonna. Stat Boy might have been able to squeeze between.
Because I'm a stick.
But no Cena.
No. And then at the end, of course,
no Cena.
No Cena. No member.
No member.
You no member Cena.
No squeeze through the cage, Mr. Cena.
No, he did that afterwards. So Alberto gets the win. The cage raises up just a tiny little bit.
And here come Miz and Truth into the ring.
And
who've been causing havoc all night because they showed up ringside with tickets, got ejected by John Laryngitis, beat the piss out of Air Boom backstage after their match, and then here they come running in post-match, and they just let them have it.
And then all hell breaks loose.
Cena gets back in there. All the freaking superstars are surrounding the cell trying to get in. You've got the brief pay-per-view appearances of Daniel Bryan. Excuse me, Bryan Danielson. Zack Ryder. Finally, they get the cell open.
And here comes 5-0.
Yeah. Miz and R-Truth get arrested.
And Miz hit the ground first. Before Truth did. He was in the ready position.
Truth is a fighter.
Yeah, I mean...
Truth knows, man. I ain't trying to go back.
And then Miz is like, "Yeah, I'm arrested. Big deal, whatever." Triple H is livid.
Triple H needs to get arrested for assaulting a man in custody because that's wrong. That's against the law, too.
That's obstruction of justice. Let's go back to the Austin McMahon era. So now the question is, what's going to happen on Raw? Is everybody going to come out? Is Triple H going to I'm still in control. Is he going to rehire Miz and Truth? Probably, because everybody wants to kick their ass legitimately. We don't know. And maybe this will bring the way for Vince to come back. We don't know.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
We're getting the wrap-up signal. So for episode, I'm not sure, of Renegade of Wrestling, episode 11 of Stat Boy Rants, affectionately called for this one episode, the Renegade of Rants. I'm JJ.
I'm Mike.
And
we're Stat Boy and Renegade out.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
You ever wanted to come into a sports bar where the barkeeps know their game? Well, the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, has got a production just for you. Sit down and relax as the Stat Boy and his partner break down the statistics in all things sports. Whether it's football, basketball, motorsports, baseball, hockey, soccer, professional wrestling, mixed martial arts, boxing, and much, much more. All are welcome. Your barkeeps here keep you up to date and in the know of everything going on in sports, while also having a pleasant conversation about it all. Your host and owner of the bar, Stat Boy Mike. His partner in crime, Dory Lou. And a host of other guests coming in. The food's hot, the seats are warm, the drinks are ice cold, and the sports talk is plentiful. Casa D18 Studios presents Stat Boy Sports Bar. Take a bar stool and enjoy the show. The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
This is James Morgan, NWA and Mach 1 Wrestling Superstar.
This is Chris Masters, the Masterpiece.
This is Downtown Bruno.
This is Eric Watts from WWE Tough Enough.
Mikey Nova.
Hey, what's up? This your boy, Sean Black.
This is Jess Bella from Santino Brothers.
Gorgeous Joey Chaos.
Yo, monkeys, it's me, DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, and you are watching Dads on Wrestling.
The Dads on Wrestling.
Dads on Wrestling.
Dads on Wrestling.
On YouTube.
This week on YouTube.
On YouTube.
On YouTube.
On YouTube. Now stay tuned or you will feel the bang!
My name's Teresa. I'm Jade. Y'all know me as XMD Diva of the Year. This is a special edition of Dads on Wrestling, commentated by the moms. Yeah. First topic we're going to discuss, why WWE is trying to go PG. When you start off with something like the Attitude Era, your ratings shoot up. When you go downhill and you start fining superstars for using words that were used in the Attitude Era, it kind of confuses them and it confuses your fans. When your ratings sink, McMahon, you bring in The Rock and Stone Cold, yet you're still trying to be PG. I would say confused.
Yeah, I agree. Bringing those two in is definitely not PG. PG would be like bringing in some more of the divas, I think.
The older divas?
Older divas, yeah.
Or bring back Pee-wee.
Which brings back Lita.
There you go. You need to bring her back.
Oh, yeah. See? Moms on Wrestling.
Okay. The moms are here. Dads are there. But the biggest topic I think we're going to discuss right now is the commentators. You start off with JR getting sick, having to leave. They put Cole in his place. In the beginning, Cole was all right. He knew his place, he knew what to say, he knew when to say it, and we were happy. Jerry got a word in edgewise. Whoever else was in the middle, guest commentating, knew what to say, when to say it. Now you have Cole going off the handle. Cole has feelings that he is probably holier than thou. And I'm not going to correct myself and say Sir Michael Cole, because that was a fake queen, because she was getting ready for the wedding. He is Michael Cole, craptastic commentator, shit-tastic actor. And I'm sorry, those tattoos. He's trying to look tough, he's trying to look mean, but he's
a mama's boy.
He's got a tattoo of his mommy. Right here.
Perfect topic for Moms on Wrestling.
Oh my god. Cole does not know how to pick his fights. You got him on what now is the former WWE champ, The Miz. I think The Miz has enough on his nutsack. His name is A-Ride.
Agreed. But they split him up.
Although now Miz has stated that he has a contractual agreement.
That's true. I forgot about that.
And whatever WWE says doesn't matter. Apparently the WWE is now is not as holier than thou as Miz. Miz and Cole are perfect for each other. I personally think Miz and Riley need to split up. They need to pick one show for Cole to be on, get a muzzle for him, and tell him to keep his clothes on. However, leading into that, you got the JR and the Jerry versus Cole and his pick of the week to fight. I'm sorry, but McMahon, you have JR who helped you get to where you are, behind and in front of the scenes, and you got Jerry the King Lawler, a legend within his own self. And all you gotta do is turn around and shit on him? I'm sorry, that's kind of insulting. I grew up watching the 80s era of wrestling. The Flair, the Hogan, everything in between. My favorite is Rowdy Roddy Piper. When I see him come out, I go apeshit because he's a legend. He is one of the reasons why WWE is where it is today. The wrestlers today are there because of them. And all McMahon is doing is pulling down his pants and taking a crap.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Speak your mind, Teresa.
Wow. McMahon always says when he steps in the ring, he feels his dad's presence. Run with that idea.
You might actually get better storylines and
might get actual watchers, viewers.
Huh. True.
Yeah.
Then these teeny bopper, oh, he's so cute girls.
Basically the John Cena fans?
Or the Drew McIntyre or Triple H.
Here we go. You couldn't tell. Her favorite too.
Or Morrison.
Okay, that's another topic, another day. I love our kids.
It's moms on wrestling and aunties on wrestling.
Getting back to Michael Cole. He is the one that answers the call when the GM flashes his lights and turns on his cell phone. I'm sorry, it's a ringtone. It's not.
Seriously,
it's not.
We had it in the house
an
for how
announcement.
long?
You can't get that noise for your email, no matter how hard you try. However, it's on everyone's cell phone now, and bugging the ever-living crap out of everyone, just like it does on the show.
Thank you, Ronnie.
Our shout-outs here.
Love you.
My question to you: who do you think the GM is?
At first, I thought it was Cole, but then he's been out there when the action's gone on with it. So, unless he has a cell phone in his crotch or something, I
don't know what's
know.
in there or down there or if anything.
Maybe it is Triple H. I don't know, because he is behind the scenes now.
Very true.
So it could be him.
My guess is one of the legends.
Like who?
My first thought was Piper. I was at Access last year for SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
And when I met him, I shook his hand. And he said something that kind of got me thinking if he was actually the GM.
Mm-hmm.
He's going, keep watching. You never know what's going to happen. I was like, are you going to be on more? He's like, you better believe it. That got me thinking. Is it him or is it somebody else along that same era?
Well, we know it's not Hogan.
Because you got them in the,
or Flair.
Or Flair, yeah. But you got them in the backstage behind the scenes. And that's where supposedly the GM is. You've got Slaughter, you've got Piper, you've got the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, sorry.
Cody's baby.
Yeah. Cody's getting crapped on right now with that Vanity Fair looking thing.
I haven't had enough with that one. That one's just gone to crap itself. Seriously, come on. You can see through the thing. It's showing that he does not have anything wrong with his pretty little face.
Not to mention he's a son of a legend. You got Randy.
Take the stupid mask thing off.
Yeah, you got Randy, who's a third generation. He's going up there. And you got Cody Rhodes, who's
He's going up there, but yet he's leaving.
And scratching it. He's leaving?
Wait, did you say...
No, I said he's hitting ground zero while...
No, you said Randy.
Yeah,
I wish Randy was leaving sometimes, but...
Yeah.
I like his song. That's about it.
But honestly, I think the GM is either McMahon or one of the legends.
Do you think it's like maybe Randy's dad?
Cowboy Bob?
Mm-hmm.
I have seen a little bit favoritism in that direction. Yeah. Okay, you got me thinking.
That's what we do best.
But then, then you also have someone who, with a little help from Vicky, might be Dean Malenko. The connection between
Now
Ray,
I'm thinking a different way though, because of Vicky.
Don't think Vicky.
Not Dolph, but who's her ex-husband that just left.
You're thinking we might bring Edge back for Lisa. Oh.
Yep.
Kind of like we've had the guest host.
Yep.
And the lovely Santino impersonation.
Oh, man.
Yeah, seeing Kali in a tutu this last Monday. That says enough right there. Even crap. Even Ron Simmons was like,
damn.
Camera, him. Camera, him. Can't. But honestly, we'd like to know who the GM is. You've strung us along long enough. You're gonna make us lose our interest. Heck, most of us have.
And I just got back to liking wrestling. I don't want to hate it again just because of a stupid anonymous GM.
Here's a ratings hit. Show us who the GM is. Don't make it be someone that is just super craptastic like the gobbledygooker. But make it someone that we care about, that we all know, that we love, and go with it. We had a question. The WWE is now changing its title from being World Wrestling Entertainment to World Entertainment?
Yes.
You're taking the wrestling out of wrestling.
Retarded.
But hasn't wrestling already been gone from the show?
Retarded.
McMahon, you can't do something you've already done. You took wrestling out of wrestling after the Attitude Era. You don't do long, lengthy matches. You don't let a match go without being interrupted hardly ever. You got rid of the tag team division. You got rid of the cruiserweight division. There's talk of you merging the two belts together, the two champ belts.
Wow.
There's not going to be much left. You already took wrestling out of wrestling. My gosh.
And I came back to wrestling. Why?
Can I get back to you?
If we want to do another show.
Yeah. I mean, you're taking the WWE and making it what it already has been. Not wrestling, not entertainment. Worldwide, yes, that's the only thing that's still there. I mean, okay, the draft was 2 weeks ago. That was 3 hours of craptastic hours that we will never get back. Can we see Indecisive?
Cena goes to SmackDown. Cena goes back to Raw.
Put him back on SmackDown. Honestly, give him a little time on SmackDown.
Give the show some oomph.
Yeah, help SmackDown, Cena. Then come back to Raw. You know, it's out of sight, out of mind. It won't be with Cena. He'll still be in the hearts and minds of millions.
Like ours.
But when he comes back, it'll be like an old friend or an old family member that you don't see all the time. It's that special. It'll mean something to us. You know?
I wish they would do that with Miz.
Yeah. Miz, go to SmackDown.
Seriously.
Somebody go to SmackDown. Somebody with hit their caliber.
Besides Randy.
Please go to SmackDown.
What are they doing with Randy on SmackDown?
Apparently kissing his ass because they just gave him the belt.
It's stupid.
Yeah, it went from Edge.
It went from Edge to his best friend in the world.
Almost brother.
Almost brother.
And he held it for 48 hours.
To Randy.
I love Randy.
He's a great wrestler.
Granted, you know, my newfound love is just recent.
Ugh.
But honestly, Christian deserves a little bit longer than 48 hours.
A whole lot more than 48 hours.
Oh my god.
A whole career's worth of 48 hours.
How long has he been there? 12 years? 12 or 13?
I know.
Yeah, about 12, 13 years he's been on there, busting his butt. Granted, he left for TNA for a little bit, but he came back.
The point is he came back. He loves WWE that much.
He wouldn't have come back if he didn't.
Trust
Honestly,
me, he wouldn't.
You're crapping on the belt, you're crapping on Edge, you're crapping on Christian, and you're crapping on everything that people want to see. They want to see Christian with the belt. We've waited for Christian with the belt. You push Christian, gonna get the belt. Then you take it away from him. Was he a bad boy?
Dumb move.
Does he get a timeout? Sorry, going on the
naughty
long
spot?
Yeah. The naughty spot is handing it over to Randy. I love you, Randy, but too soon. Way too soon.
Unless it's to draw the heat in, which is, yeah, that's a good kind of a thing, but do it a different way. Have them feud. You know?
Yeah.
Don't just take it away. Because they are both great wrestlers. They can have some great matches.
But who's had the belt? Who's had a belt more recently?
Randy.
Yeah. It's almost like WWE, the writers especially, don't want to see anyone else with belts except for Randy, Miz, Cena, Trips, Taker. You know, the top 10.
I love Trips, but that's the granted or given.
He's
right
got,
there.
He's got enough
daddy.
accolades.
He's, you know,
he's in Daddy's pocket.
Yeah. If you want to say pocket.
Well, we know he's in Stephanie's pants, so.
I think he's in Daddy's pants.
Yeah. McMahon, if you're listening, which who knows?
We love you, but you
give it back to Christian. Give it to somebody who has been there and put in their time. You know, getting back on TNA, Grant Christian left, but like we said, he came back. Other superstars have left for TNA, and they get pushed to no means by TNA.
People that don't even deserve to be pushed, I think. Like,
yeah.
And I love him to death, but Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy.
Matt's only getting pushed probably because of his brother. I love Matt, I love him, but...
Matt Hardy.
Okay, what was with pushing Tyson? The one with all the tattoos and the one that was Christian's bitch for a minute. Tyson. No? Tyson. He's getting pushed. He was getting pushed for a minute. Huh?
He's a good wrestler if they let him actually do something.
Yeah, WWE does water down.
Yeah, because they're PG.
Yeah, because when TNA wrestlers...
Hi, closer.
Aww, group hug. She's trying to undress me on live TV.
My armpit was trying to undress you.
TNA, when their superstars come to the WWE, they almost are expecting it watered down. Gail Kim started with WWE, went to TNA, came back just like Christian. For a very short time, about a cup of coffee, as one of the guys would say, she had a run going for the belts. All of a sudden, she is an Asian hooker. Dressing like it, acting like it, and kissing all the other divas' ass. No. Sorry, that woman can wrestle. Along with other divas. Natalya can wrestle. Beth can wrestle. I mean, I'd even give, and correct me, you know, if I'm wrong, but Kelly has even been improving.
Yeah, totally. She's a pretty girl, but she's got some moves lately. And I'm impressed.
And now you've got someone out for revenge, it seems like, which is Karma.
I like it.
Otherwise known as Awesome Kong.
I like it.
I do. Because if you notice this last show, Kelly wrestled Maurice. That's how craptastic she is. Can't even remember her name. She has horsehair that's faker than her boobs. Wait, no correction.
That you can't curl unless you want it to look that.
Her hand gesture, been there, done that. Over it! But you got Karma coming in. They showed her with brat dolls, which, by the way, I hate anyway.
And your daughter.
Yes. And knocking the heads off them, pulling the heads off them, breaking them in two. I liked that. I like the aggression.
But I don't think if they're going to have kids at all watching, you'll want to do that kind of thing.
Yeah, but I think they
you saw your daughter's face after she saw that. She went from to pure fright.
Yeah.
Just over a doll's head coming off.
But the storyline that they're trying to go with Karma looks like they're going to take out Michelle, take out Maurice, take out the hoity-toity wannabe bitches. No, not even wannabe. They are bitches. Wannabe wrestlers.
And leave the pretty sweethearts.
Yeah, and leave the pretty ones
that can hardly wrestle, that are getting better.
Yeah.
Like
honestly,
Kelly?
Honestly, I see Karma leaving Beth, Natalia, Gail.
I don't know. I think
Kelly
Gail
alone. No, I see her leaving them alone until she goes through the list of the other divas. Maybe bringing back Lita.
That would be cool.
She made a little cameo on SmackDown.
When,
yeah. You never know. She's
what's his name? Phoebe? Was on her.
She's been back a couple
times.
You got Trish.
That's doing Tough Enough now.
Yeah, Tough Enough. Where do we start? The divas you're down to on Tough Enough? I'm sorry, aren't divas. They're dodos.
Michelle, you should have stayed. You're good. I've seen it. Yes, you have a daughter. I have a son.
I have a daughter.
You know, but if you love the business so much, you
stay with it.
Yeah. You don't, sit there and cry over your daughter. Yes, you love your daughter. You want to see your daughter. That's what Skype's for.
And then you got the guys. You got the Mrs. attitude in this Luke character, this Luke guy, who hasn't been showing any improvement.
I'm sorry, he thinks he's a pretty boy, but
people who are the bottom barrel, like Jeremiah, right?
I love him.
He is climbing his way up and climbing over his ass. Going, see you later, Luke. Thank you for the pointers.
He's frog hopping over his ass.
And the funny thing is, Luke has helped him.
Yeah.
But Luke can't help himself. Then you got Martin.
Because he's got his mouth.
Martin's a sweetheart. We've met him.
I love him.
We've met him. He is a total sweetheart. Martin, we hope you win. Our money's on Martin.
Now that both, well, no, not both, one of our friends are out.
Yeah. The other friend of ours is Eric. The other friend of ours is
still in,
Eric.
and I hope he stays in.
He's just got to pick it up.
Exactly. I was going to say, he's the weak link right now. Because of his size.
Aside from
he's
the divas, yeah.
a big guy. But I think he has the skill. I've seen him wrestle, indie shows. He's good. He just needs to step up his game.
Speaking of stepping up his game, R-Truth attempted that. Sore subject. She doesn't like the cigarette part.
I'm an ex-smoker. To sit there and bring in someone that is loved by everybody,
no matter whether he's a heel
especially
or a face,
kids, and to have him smoke on national TV, worldwide TV, whatever, and a PG show.
Oh, you done
stupid, retarded.
Brain in your underpants, writers.
What are you thinking? So. That's like putting Cena and having him smoke. Dumb.
R-Truth loves babies. Because he loves that one.
Mommy!
He even wrote it on her onesie.
R-Truth is a good face. Not a good heel.
He'd also make a good champion if given the chance. He was NWA champion, if I remember correctly. But then again, TNA kind of crapped on that title.
I think we're being summoned.
I think our time's about up here.
About lunch.
Yep.
Yeah.
But this is Dad's on Wrestling's Mother's Day edition with the moms, giving their point of view.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Hello pals, Alyssa Marino here, and as a friend of Parker Kane Promotions, I am super excited to share the awesomeness that they've got in store for you this November at WrestleCade. You'll be seeing the world-traveling Capital Championship Wrestling Global Fighting Champ Rebecca J. Scott, a rising star who's been featured on Ladies Night Out, MCW, and more, the stunner Emily J., an internationally traveled talent who you've seen on NXT UK and Stardom, Angel of the Ring Zaya Brookside, and NWA World Women's Tag Team Champion Chicago's Sweetheart Missa Kate will also be appearing live. It's all going down WrestleCade weekend in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. You can catch these stars brought to you by Parker Kane Promotions on Saturday, November 25th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And be sure to stick around for Ladies Night Out the following day on Sunday, November 26th. You can get your WrestleCade weekend tickets at WrestleCade.com.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from NoDQ.com.
Greetings everyone, welcome to NoDQ&A video here on NoDQ.com. Some of you might have been having problems watching the latest episodes due to YouTube's issue with the subscriptions. Some people are not getting the videos in their subscription box, so make sure you check out the previous edition of NoDQ&A video and let everyone know if you know anybody that watches the show. and keep spreading the word. youtube.com/NoDQCAW. Let's get right down to your questions. Hey Aaron, honestly, when is someone but Super Cena gonna get a push? They made Del Rio look too weak in their match, and it's upsetting since he's a good in-ring performer. Well, yeah, the Night of Champions finish with John Cena winning back the title for the 12th time now was a little bit surprising. The whole idea behind Alberto Del Rio getting the world title in the first place was so he would be champion going into Mexico when WWE does their tour there in October. So why did they put the title on him in the first place if John Cena was just going to get it back right away? Now, it could be a situation where WWE panicked because of the ratings for Raw this past week. They did a 2.7. Maybe Del Rio's getting the blame. As I've mentioned in previous videos, WWE always starts and stops these pushes with guys like, with The Miz and Jack Swagger. They need to remember that Steve Austin did not become a major superstar in one day or even a couple of weeks or a couple of months. It took a full year of pushing Austin before he finally caught on. So when you take a guy like Alberto Del Rio and you give him a push for like a week and then give up. First of all, they spent about a year building him up. Then he gets the title and then he has it for a month. So yeah, the whole thing is very mind-boggling. I mean, I guess it's always possible that Del Rio can get it back on Raw this week or maybe in a week or two. But then you're just changing the titles too often. It's like a hot potato. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I'm just really perplexing. So Cena's now a 10-time champ. Do you think he'll beat Flair's record of 16? At the rate things are going, that definitely seems to be a possibility. Oh boy, a lot of unhappy people if that ever happens. Do you think TNA should bring back the 6-sided ring? Doesn't really matter, honestly. That is not the major problem with TNA. So whether it's 4-sided or 6-sided or 10-sided, it's the product, the in-ring quality, the storylines, all that is what's important, not the ring. Hey Aaron, Rhino recently returned to SmackDown during Edge's Appreciation Night. Do you think he will ever return to WWE again if WWE wants to sign him? It's always a possibility. Rhino still got it in him, so it could go either way. If WWE wants an old school veteran back, I'm sure Rhino's one of the guys they might look into. What's going on with Alex Riley? I really liked him as a wrestler, and people seem to really like him when he turned on The Miz. He seemed to have a major pop from the crowd when he turned on him. Haven't seen Alex in a while, though. Well, yeah, going back to earlier, WWE does these start and stop pushes. They start pushing a guy for about a week or two, and then they give up on him right away. I'm not sure what's going on with Alex Riley right now. I know, he's still somewhat green. He's still inexperienced in the ring and not really that good at working a match at this point. And his promos are really good for a new guy, but yeah, he's still got a lot of work to do in the ring, getting better as a performer and all that. So it could just be they want him to pay his dues, that sort of thing. But yeah, going back to Del Rio, it's just, man, I can't even get it out of my mind, like how they spent a whole year building him up, and for months the plan was for him to get the WWE title and go to Mexico as champion, and then Cena wins it back. It could have just been a panic with the ratings. I have no idea. Hey Aaron, why can't WWE do SmackDown live on Fridays instead of Tuesdays? I mean, wouldn't it be a better choice instead of having to move to Tuesdays and having WWE on Mondays then the next day? Okay, the whole point is that they want to get off Friday nights. Friday nights is a bad night for wrestling. People are out on Fridays doing things. WWE tests the waters with Tuesday nights and the ratings went up. Every time they've done Tuesday nights, the ratings have gone up. So it makes logical sense to move to Tuesday night. It's not even a live issue. It's the getting off Friday nights that's the issue. And even Wednesday or Thursday, I think, would be a lot better than doing Thursday or Friday nights at this point. Hey Aaron, what do you feel about TNA turning Jeff Hardy's drug problem into a storyline? Well, it worked wonders with Scott Hall and WCW when they turned his problems into a storyline, so TNA's got to do everything that WCW does, right? Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a problem with it. It's sometimes the best storylines are based on real life, and if Jeff Hardy's fine with exploiting his real life problems for the sake of television, then so be it. Whatever. With Rock now announced to be competing at Survivor Series, do you think this means WWE knows at this point that someone like Austin or Foley will be competing at WrestleMania 28, thus the reason they've risked Rock wrestling before WrestleMania 28? Well, as I mentioned before, I think the whole situation here is that WWE feels that Rock's first match not being at WrestleMania 28 will only have a minimum effect on the pay-per-view buy rate. They still expect a ton of people to tune in to watch Cena versus Rock. And the idea is that it's going to help Survivor Series a lot. It's going to generate a lot of interest in Survivor Series, and I think they want to tell the story of Rock's first match being back to take place in Madison Square Garden, where his very first match was with WWE back in 1996 at Survivor Series, the 15-year anniversary. I think that's the story they want to tell. And time will tell if that's the right decision or not. It's definitely got a lot of mixed reviews. Some people think it's a great idea. Some people think it's a terrible idea. We'll see what happens. Hey Aaron, what are your thoughts on Ultimate Warrior? Do you think he'll ever return to WWE and be inducted into the Hall of Fame, even though he was a screw-up during his last days with WWE? Well, a year or two ago, there was some serious consideration about Warrior being in the Hall of Fame. WWE started acknowledging Warrior and put him back into the opening video montage. So I think they were trying to get on Warrior's good side, but Warrior didn't really want to have anything to do with him, I think. So, it's always open for Warrior to go in the Hall of Fame. He's a big-time name. Even though a lot of people don't like him, you cannot deny his accomplishments in the wrestling business. And it's all a matter if the two sides can agree on something. I believe it was might have been something about a payout that Warrior wasn't happy with what they were offering him financially to do the Hall of Fame. But if they're able to come to terms, I definitely see the Warrior go in the Hall of Fame, and he should, in my opinion. If Angel, I think you meant Angle, did not go to TNA, would he have gotten into all the trouble with DUIs and his wife leaving him for Jeff Jarrett? Your thoughts? Well, if Kurt Angle hadn't gone to TNA, he probably would be dead right now. And that's sad to say and, very morbid, but he was breaking down rapidly in WWE. He needed to get out of there and get the lighter schedule and just not have so much pressure because his body was breaking down on him at a rapid pace. What happened to Chris Harris? He got his brains knocked out by somebody. Do you think Ring of Honor will beat WWE or TNA in ratings or in buy rates? Well, the thing with ROH is that it's catered to a very narrow audience. For them to get to the level of WWE or TNA, they really need to start marketing their guys and making their guys larger-than-life superstars. They need the action figures, they need the video games, the t-shirts, all the merchandising that goes along with it to make these guys into something. I mean, you look at somebody like Kevin Steen. I like the guy. I think he's a good performer. He's a good wrestler. He's entertaining on the mic. But is his character really developed enough to be marketable? Like with merchandising, like action figures, video games, like what's his persona? I mean, that's the thing with a lot of those ROH guys. They're known for their wrestling and their high spots and all that, but they're not all that marketable, and that's the problem there. So if ROH can get to that next level in terms of pushing their guys and creating superstars out of their talent, then maybe someday they can get to a level of WWE or TNA. All right, that about does it for NoDQ&A video here on NoDQ.com. Leave a comment, YouTube.com/NoDQCAW. And stay tuned for more videos this week. We'll talk more about what's going on heading into Hell in a Cell, which is 2 weeks away. We have yet another WWE pay-per-view. So let me know what you guys think, and we'll see you next time.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
you ever wanted to come into a sports bar where the barkeeps know their game? Well, the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse Media has got a production just for you. Sit down and relax as the stat boy and his partner break down the statistics in all things sports. Whether it's football, basketball, motorsports, baseball, hockey, soccer, professional wrestling, mixed martial arts, boxing, and much, much more. All are welcome. Your barkeeps here keep you up to date and in the know of everything going on in sports, while also having a pleasant conversation about it all. Your host and owner of the bar, Stat Boy Mike. His partner in crime, Dory Lou. And a host of other guests coming in. The food's hot, the seats are warm, the drinks are ice cold, and the sports talk is plentiful. Casa D18 Studios presents Stat Boy Sports Bar. Take a bar stool and enjoy the show. The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
With another episode of the what?
Nothing.
Yeah, I think you did.
Infamous. How about that?
Infamous? I would have said highly popular.
There you go. That works too.
Yeah. Another episode of Stat Boy Rants, and as always, these rants are Stat Boy approved. Good stuff to talk about. We're gonna go back to basics, keep the wrestling fans happy. Episode 29 for those keeping count. One of my buddies online says, rant on failed heel storylines. So, did a little research. Here's what I found. No particular order. I'm not going to go top 10 or whatever. One that came up was the Jim Duggan Canadian heel story. There you go. Patriotic Jim Duggan, you know, always chanting USA, and then out of the blue, he joins Team Canada.
In WCW.
In WCW. Thank you. You know, you couldn't boo this. This is like you get that look when you miss a word in the Star Spangled Banner or something. It's like, huh? No way. Can you? In fact, that basically was a ripoff of the next one, which is Slaughter defecting to the Iraqis. Back in, what, 1991, 1992, 1993 in there? 90? Was it in the 90s?
90-91.
Okay. You know? Of course, when an American defects now, it's top story on the news. But not in wrestling. No. And who had to come to save the USA? Good old Hulk Hogan. There you go. Slaughter gets a title run out of the deal. Had to beat the Warrior to do it, though. I think it would have been better if he would have beat Hogan for the belt, and then Hogan would have gotten it back. That storyline would have been just a little bit better. Don't you agree, Jeff Meacham?
Well, I think part of the reason Slaughter got the belt in the first place is because they were sick of having Warrior as champion, but they wanted Hogan to win the belt back at WrestleMania. So they figured put it on the top heel.
There you go.
There you go.
Another one. Booker T, when he joined the Alliance, he left WCW, the real WCW, not the watered down WWE WCW, as a face, because everyone loved Booker T. But because all the members of the Alliance were heels at the time, he had to become heel. Didn't know where to go with him, and he gets a shampoo feud out of it. It's like, really? That's all the thing they could come up with was shampoo? A storyline about shampoo, yeah. I'm really going to watch Raw or SmackDown to talk about... I think he had the smaller braids back then, or I don't remember, but did he even wash them back then? I don't know.
And who was that feud against?
It was against Edge.
Soon to be WWE Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Plus, he also had to have a fight with Stone Cold in the grocery store.
Best part of the heel run.
Exactly.
That was epic.
Seriously.
When did Booker T jump the shark? When he talked about shampoo. Another one we found happened at my very first Raw event when Rikishi was revealed as the one that ran over Stone Cold, and he did it for The Rock. He did it for the people. It's like, really? The one guy, Rikishi, you mean the big guy that used to put on the cool sunglasses and boogie, running over Stone Cold as a favor for The Rock? Really? I mean, yeah, he's a big guy, okay? I mean, the big guys in WWE are more prone to become heel because they're monsters. You know, they're little guy, big guy, stick and tree. You know, but it was just it failed. Like after The Rock decided to take out his cousin. Go figure that one out. Good old JR. When he had a bout of Bell's palsy, or this was just before it, I guess. You know, after the New York incident with the Click. Well, I talked to Kevin Nash and I talked to Scott Hall all the time. In fact, I'm going to bring him back. JR, we're not stupid. We knew what Scott Hall looked like before and after the drugs.
Because he didn't say Scott Hall and Kevin
Nash.
He
said Razor Ramon and Diesel, but we know what they meant. But like I say, you know, he brought in the fake Razor Ramon, which he looked kind of puny, and of course we had an unknown Glenn Jacobs as Diesel, who kind of decided to grow his hair long and cover up his face, so we couldn't. Even back then, he was kind of puny looking. Yeah, he was tall, but he was. It just wasn't the same, you know.
His teeth were fixed.
Yes, his teeth were fixed. Yes.
And Glenn Jacobs, of course, is
Kane and Isaac Yankem. But I mean, you can't have good old JR. You know, the main part of it was he ranted. You see what I did there? About Vince McMahon firing him, which was legit, right? He did get fired legitimately a couple of times. So that's the only truth in that storyline. But good old JR cannot. JR can get mad, but JR cannot be a heel because he's a good old country boy. Next on the list would be Stone Cold turning heel after WrestleMania when he fought Rock the second time.
What?
Stone Cold.
What?
Turning heel.
What?
Shook hands with Vince McMahon.
What?
After WrestleMania.
What?
The biggest honor. Did they have a beer?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did have a beer.
Another. Another.
What?
And another.
What?
And another.
What?
Okay, I'm good.
Thank you, Casa D18.
Huh.
What was that?
Huh?
What is that?
Huh?
I don't want to know. What is? I want you part of this. Anyway, this was a crazy moment in Stone Cold's. It was towards the end, but it's like, why Stone Cold? Why? And just to add another one that will fail, if they finally do it, will be Cena. If Cena turns heel, it will be we know it won't affect him because that's the current storyline. Okay? Rise above hate. We get all that. But I think that The Rock should be the heel in the match at Mania. Here's my reasoning. We all know Cena busts his ass every week. We all know he's not going to let the haters hate him. The Hollywood movie star gimmick that The Rock does works for him because he can be, like the Andy Kaufman of the 2010s. If you remember Andy Kaufman, I'm Hollywood. I love my fans, but it's like, if it comes down between Cena and Rock, I'm choosing Cena. Because I'm sorry. Rock is off making money in another business, which is not bad, totally. But he's a hypocrite. He even went on Jay Leno last Monday. The only talk about wrestling was that he was happy to be at WrestleMania. Cheap plug at WrestleMania. And that he had a wardrobe malfunction because his trunks were too tight. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear a wrestler come on a talk show and say how much they're going to kick ass at WrestleMania, how they're going to pound their opponent into the ground, how they're going to react to the fans, and all that stuff. I bet if John Cena went on Leno or on any show, he said, oh yeah, I'm going to beat The Rock. The Rock didn't even mention Cena by name, which leads me to believe that, one, he doesn't care about the match and he's just doing it for a payout, which, let's face it, that's probably what he's doing anyway. And two, after Mania, he's just going to go away and make more movies. He plugged his movie Journey to the Enchanted Island, which honestly, I'm not going to go see because it looks dumb. They got him fighting some big old T-Rex, which looks stupid. I mean, oh yeah, The Rock's going to take down a T-Rex. What's he going to do? Raise his eyebrow and the T-Rex is going to go, ooh.
Haku Machente.
T-Rex?
Yeah, let's have The Rock fight T-Rex. It would draw 400 people at the Los Alamitos Legion Hall for Battle Pro Wrestling. I'd buy it. In fact, I'll be there on February 25th. I'll be at the show. Fat Boy approves. I'll have to work though, but I'm not going to be there early. I'm going to be there around bell time.
How about you actually promote the company the way it's supposed to be called, and that's Battleground Pro Wrestling,
What did I
not
say?
Battle Pro.
Okay, so I left out one word. I apologize.
Hashtag StatBoyFup.
I'm allowed. Anywho. So there you go. Failed heel storylines in WWE. There are probably plenty more. In fact, you can even throw in Chavo's failed attempt at Kerwin White. That was god-awful. I'd rather have a root canal than see that character.
Although it was the television debut of a yet unknown Dolph Ziggler.
There you go. Bring in those comments, folks. If you want a special rant, let me know. Keep following me on Twitter. Get me on my Statboy Rants page. Keep watching the channel. More shows to come. Statboy, yes?
What?
What were you going to say?
What?
Oh, now she does it.
Huh?
What is it with that?
What?
Oh, enough. Statboy out.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
This is James Morgan, NWA and Mach 1 Wrestling Superstar.
This is Chris Masters, the Masterpiece.
This is Downtown Bruno.
This is Eric Watts from WWE Tough Enough.
Mikey Nova.
Hey, what's up? This your boy, Sean Black.
This is Jess Bella from Santino Brothers.
Gorgeous Joey Chaos. Yo, monkeys, it's me, DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, and you are watching Dads on Wrestling.
Dads on Wrestling.
Dads on Wrestling.
Dads on Wrestling.
On YouTube.
Week on YouTube.
On YouTube.
On YouTube.
On YouTube. Now stay tuned, or you will feel the bang.
Welcome everyone to episode 29 of Dads on Wrestling here on YouTube.com. I am Mr. TW Jeff Meacham, joined as always by the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams.
Haku Machete!
The Lady Killer, Ray Larkin.
But you already know that.
That's right. Alright, we are here in the shadow of the Sphinx of the Luxor Hotel and Casino here in, once again, Las Vegas.
Which is why I had to throw that in. You know, the Scorpion King, the Mummy Returns.
But it has nothing to do. Yeah, but see, the problem with this guy's shirt is The Rock has never held the World Heavyweight Championship from 2002 to present. That's what we're talking about today.
Yes.
The greatest champions to hold the WWE version of the World Heavyweight Championship.
Get that look off your face, stat boy. The Rock held his last championship in 2002, the Undisputed title. When he dropped it to Brock, that is when this belt was created, because Brock became SmackDown exclusive. Now, The Rock did hold the WCW title.
Just the same belt.
But he never held WWE's version of the World Champions. And this was a suggestion topic that we got. I forget who suggested it. Just wanted us to cover the best World Champions. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, if we sit here and we talk about NWA, AWA, ROH, PWG, WCW, ECW, WWE, we're going to be here for fucking like 6 hours. Excuse my language. But
It's key, if you will.
So that's why we're going to narrow it down to just WWE's World Heavyweight Championship.
And you cannot start this topic without talking about the first heavyweight champion.
Triple H.
Handed to him.
Yes.
Handed him by Bischoff.
By Bischoff.
But he earned it.
He did.
He beat Ric Flair. He
Rob
regained
Van
it.
Dam.
Rob Van Dam. He regained it from Shawn Michaels. He dominated that championship for over 3 years.
Yes. That belt should have just been called the Triple H Championship.
Seriously, at one point.
From 2002 till about 2005, when he lost it to Batista. That was the Triple H belt.
Exactly.
I just didn't see there was, like, I was talking with you about this earlier. I didn't see nobody worthy of beating Triple H at that time.
At that point, because you had all the WCW guys being thrown as Booker T, Kevin Nash, Goldberg.
Exactly.
All those guys. Goldberg did win.
Now he
Steiner.
did have Shawn be thrown for a month. He had Orton, who held it for a month before Trips got it back. Orton, of course, beat Chris Benoit, who had a good
3 months.
4 or 5 month run. Yeah, from March to August.
Okay, 5 times.
You know?
I can count 5 times.
You even got John Cena. I would do that one more time.
But honestly, John Cena was never a great world heavyweight champion.
He's a great WWE champion, but the big gold just didn't look right around his waist.
It just didn't fit.
Now, somebody whose waist it did look good around is the man that I'm representing with the Nexus gear, CM Punk, baby. A man who has got everybody talking off of this past week's Raw episode.
Wow. Just wow. That's all you gotta say.
But the guy who used to get people talking, Jeff Hardy, I actually like when he became the World Heavyweight Champion.
Really?
For that limited amount of time. It's just because they held the man down so much, and he held himself down. Now, I don't want to get on my Punk rant, but he held himself down. But, you know, when he finally got it, when Edge was hanging in the, hanging in that ladder, watching his championship go to Jeff Hardy's hands, like, I just beat you, like, in your face. And I'm an Edgehead, and that really broke my heart to say that.
And then Punk comes in and cashes in and takes it from him right away.
Yes.
Slide stuff.
Now, something we want to point out here about CM Punk, he got all 3 of his world titles in an 18-month span. And he's been very beaten ever since.
He's been without a world title since 2008.
That is why his speech this past week was so passionate. Look on the souvenir cups that you get at the arena. Look on the programs. He isn't on them. He may be in the program, he may be in the magazine, but rarely does he get a cover. And it's BS, because he's, dare I say, CM Punk is the most controversial superstar to come around since D-Generation X in the 90s.
It's hard to argue that. John Cena's been called controversial as well,
but nowhere near to the level of CM Punk.
Not after Monday night.
You know what's interesting?
Now, I want to put somebody else over really quickly. We were talking about how the world title is basically the Triple H championship. Post Triple H, I honestly feel that belt was Edge's personal championship.
True. Also, it was Edge's championship. He held it from 2007 through his retirement.
Yeah,
I believe that he had most of his 11 title reigns with the big gold. I could be wrong.
You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct.
You're right.
So in that way, Edge basically took the torch from Trips and honored that championship for all it's worth. And that belt is an honorable world championship.
And he's battled formidable opponents, really good opponents.
Yes.
A Hall of Fame list of people, and a future, even toward the end, a future Hall of Fame list.
Now, go ahead, put over The Undertaker since you're rocking his shirt.
I am 16-0 against Edge at WrestleMania 24. I was there, baby. Love
He's
it.
now 19-0, so that just shows how old the shirt is.
See if I can make the 6.
Seriously, that shirt's about as old as your son, I'm just saying.
It's a true statement, because within 3 days, or a few days, there it was. All right, anyway. Yes, The Undertaker, the World Heavyweight Championship, beat Batista, beat Edge, beat CM Punk. Undertaker made everybody realize that the World Championship was worth challenging.
Would you guys say Batista wasn't worthy champion?
Definitely. The first reign. The first reign.
Okay, I will give you Batista's first reign from when he defeated Triple H at WrestleMania until he had to forfeit his title due to injury. Batista was a worthy champion.
Oh,
from his second reign until he left, he was a fuck up.
Yep.
When he came out in that Miami Vice suit and then handed the belt over and it was like, well, where are you going, to Florida? Are you going to retire? So
in his wake and his injury,
Kurt Angle
picked up that ball and he ran 100 yards from end zone to end zone for the touchdown, baby. That belt looked so good, no homo, around Kurt Angle's waist.
Definitely.
It was destined.
And then
from a gold medal to the big gold.
And then the end of the reign at WrestleMania with...
We're not going to talk about him because he's
Let's
not
just
a worthy
say
world champion.
they gave the belt to a guy who could barely carry it.
Literally. Seriously, I think he had to stand on his tippy toes and spike up his avatar mask, because you have to be at least this tall to be World Heavyweight Champion. And he barely met the height requirements. I'm just saying.
Sorry, Ray.
No, I'm not. I'm not sorry at all.
Stat Boy.
You took Chavo's reign.
Yes, Stat Boy.
And the weight requirement.
Yes, seriously, 175 pounds is not
Now, we can argue the weight requirement all you want, because when Shawn won his first title, I don't think he was quite at heavyweight champion status. He was still technically pushing the cruiserweight, light heavyweight.
Early 200s.
So, if you want to go there with Ray, go there with Sean.
Ray at 175, Sean 220.
I'm just saying. And I'm not even saying it to dish Sean this time. But if you're going to go there with the weight on Ray, go there with the weight on Sean.
But the weight on Sean when he won the World Heavyweight Championship, he was alright.
This is true.
Okay, because he was at home for 3 months. He took you to the sun. So, there you go. Anyway, who else? World Heavyweight Championships.
The Great Khali.
Worthy.
I'm only going to give Khali the rub this time because I feel that was the only time he was being pushed properly. He basically was getting the Andre push, if you will. He dominated the Battle Royal to win the title. They fed him all the small people to make him look like a monster. And for the 2 months, 3 months, however long his run was, they hid his flaws and accentuated his strengths. And that was the only time I feel Khali was worthy.
I like Kane. Kane wasn't too bad.
Kane as a heel as the world champion made me...
All the way until Paul Bearer got kidnapped by Edge and they turned him into a sniveling baby.
And they kept throwing him off of a rooftop.
Seriously, that was the beginning of the end of Kane, and then when she started doing this with Santino, that was the end of the end.
The nail in the coffin, baby.
Sorry,
Speaking of nails in the coffin, got to put over Benoit.
Yes, Benoit for those 5 months as world champion carried it like a champion should.
And I know
how you feel about him.
I'm going to get heat for that comment right there, the nail in the coffin, you know. But
he was female, so it's okay.
But at the end of the day, Chris Benoit had defied all the odds, and that moment at WrestleMania 20 with the confetti falling, him and Eddie hugging in the ring, arms raised with their belts in the air, the biggest F you to Eric Bischoff that there ever could have been. His hiatus, because, if remembering certainly correctly, Stat Boy, from his undisputed run until he left the first time, he didn't get the belt back.
Never did.
So it took him coming back, changing his image up,
turning heel, hardcore heel,
turning Nick Bockwinkel.
Yep.
Google him.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Google a Nick Bockwinkel promo
and
Google a Jericho 2007 promo and tell me if it's not the same thing.
Nick Bockwinkel was at Raw and he was walking down the ramp. I said, Mr. Bockwinkel, give me the picture. He said, I gotta go, dude. And I walked back. I had 3 people. Who was that? And I told one of them.
That's the C Nation for you. I'm sorry. You told me not to call him that. You told me not to call him that. But the C Nation does not know who Nick Bockwinkel is. The historians, not even a lot of the Attitude Era people, either never knew or forgot who Bockwinkel is. It's the true historians, the people like you guys that grew up watching it, and the guys like me that did their homework when they got into it, that know who Nick Bockwinkel is. So yes, the C Nation doesn't know who he is.
You do know who he is. You guys are usually C Nation.
I'm talking about
the C Nation members.
Fans, the new model.
No, I understand what you're saying. I grew up watching, wasn't really a fan of the organization or him. And when I see him at the Cauliflower Alley Club, which I go to every year, he's kind of self-involved. He thinks highly of himself, and it's like, you're not that important. When Roddy Piper's taking the stage, sit your ass down and shut the fuck up. Whoa. When Stone Cold Steve Austin's taking the stage, sit your ass down and don't talk if you don't want to stunt.
But in all fairness, with the exception of Piper, would have been no Austins, no Cenas, no Rocks if it hadn't been for guys like
Nick Bockwinkel. Honestly,
you know what?
Nick Bockwinkel made the over-exaggerated, highly hyped, very intelligent heel get over, but somebody else would have come.
You know what, Jeff? I'm just going to wheel out the Iron Sheik who's watching behind us over here at a Pepsi vending machine. We're just going to wheel him out here, and he's just going to let you know what he thinks about what Nick Bockwinkel, Hulk Hogan, Sergeant Slaughter.
None of them
Sheiky, stay back, Sheiky, stay back.
Oh, he's dead.
So
he just passed out. He just passed out.
It was the Desert Heat. Yeah, so anyways, I think we've covered the greatest world champions that there is. Just tune in next week for episode 30. Can you believe we've made it here? Episode 30. It's more than like triple what I did on a Hardy Conversation. Tune in for episode 30 next week, where we cover the greatest United States champions of all time. Once again, here at the Luxor Hotel in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. We will see you next time. Haku Moshente!